Hello there, I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, looking at how WWE should have booked. We're taking out from now to the future and challenge WWE to do better because I'm a smartass. Ding! It's WrestleMania Part 2. Part 1 is here. Here we go. Shaq versus The Big Show. Oh, yeah, this match. Look, I love The Big Show. I love the fact that he actually worked his goddamn ass off to put Braun over strong. I love that. I've got such respect for the guy, but I just don't want to see him and Shaq hugging for 10 minutes. Don't want to see it. I don't want to see Shaq, who does not work for the WWE, get a pinfall victory of The Big Show. You know that's what they're going to do. Instead, let's bollocks this match and use it to create a new star, make a proper, memorable moment. And that's have Braun Strowman come down really, really cross that his Andre the Giant Memorial victory is on the pre-show and destroy Shaq and destroy Big Show. Like properly running power slam to beloved basketball celebrity Shaquille O'Neal. Like let the match go 5 minutes to do like an impressive kind of like, I'm strong. No, I'm strong, but basketball. And then yeah, have Braun Strowman come out and just wreck it. He stands tall, looks straight down the hard camera and says, I am the only giant in WWE. Bruh. So then we come to John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maryse. This match has already started being built and being built well. It makes sense, you know, Nikki's a huge reality star. There's rumor that she might be retiring after this match. The Miz is on the run of his life and going up against Cena is a big deal. However, that being said, I'm really only okay with this match on one very specific condition. The Miz has to win. Now I know WWE has a raging boner for John Cena winning at Mania, but The Miz, look, John Cena might be going away, Nikki might be going away, The Miz and Maryse are staying around, and The Miz is on fire. He needs this. And here's how I would do it to really incorporate everything that he's been doing for the past few months. So this is basically an advert for Total Bellas. That is what it is. Who else is in Total Bellas? Daniel Bryan. I would have Daniel Bryan be the special guest referee for this match. Now I know that sounds hokey and a waste of Daniel Bryan at Mania, but I think it's also storyline rich to have him being forced to count the pin for The Miz. Just like 1, 2, 3. As The Miz just sort of looks at him with that kind of, that kind of smug face he does, just like that. And then after the match, that's when you have the marriage proposal. I know it's so corny and it's not the 90s anymore. But look at it like this. Randy Savage lost his match against the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 7. Despite that, he turned face, he hoisted up Miss Elizabeth, what a woman and what a man, and it was a huge feel-good moment and one of probably the best moment from WrestleMania 7. So John Cena can eat a loss, put Miz over huge, and despite that, you can still have a feel-good moment. You can actually picture it on Total Bellas, like 1, 2, 3, and then everyone's like, no, Nikki lost her last match, oh man. And the music's just like, oh no. And everyone's crowded around the monitor backstage, but then John Cena reaches for something, it's a box, he opens it, and he says, will you marry me, Jack? And Nikki says, no, kicks him in the balls, turns heel, Miz right there in front of everyone. The Maryse is like cartwheeling around and just like firing a gun into the air and like fireworks. Nah, she'll say yes probably. Next up, Goldberg versus Lesnar. It's not the main event. It's not the main event. Not in my world. It will be the main event, but not in my world. Look, this is an intriguing match. I want to see what a WrestleMania match between Brock and Goldberg looks like now, considering what happened last time. But for me, some of the heat has worn off since Survivor Series. Look, I'm still very much up for the match. It's still an intriguing match. These guys are both still huge, but I feel like you have to go for the in-house full-time talent at WrestleMania, because like, how else will your casual fans know, oh, this guy's a big deal, than if you tell them so? Now, I don't know if it's like plans have changed and that Goldberg is sticking around after Mania. I know Lesnar's, still got a year left or something on his contract, but yeah, it's just, I'll tell you what the main event should be later, but for now, this is where we have Goldberg versus Lesnar. So at Fastlane, Owens walks out with his championship. The match at Fastlane is probably gonna be a cluster. Triple H might get involved, Samoa Joe maybe to set up something down the line. Brock is going to be there, maybe even Chris Jericho. And I think you can create the right kind of maelstrom of activity that Kevin Owens is able to somehow sneak a win and escape with his belt. Then if that happens, then Lesnar should F5 Goldberg, just F5 him just a whole bunch of times to close out the show, leaving an intriguing but not pivotal slugfest between the two at Mania, which I think Lesnar should win, finally getting that W over Goldberg. Next up, a tag team match pitting Samoa Joe and Triple H versus Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Now I know, you probably don't want to see any of these guys in a tag match at WrestleMania. I know one-on-one is still the most prestigious wrestling match, but actually the more you think about it, the more this really makes sense. I know it's pretty much in his contract that Triple H must have singles match at Mania with entire drama school as personal skeletons. But look at it like this, right? Finn Balor beat Seth at SummerSlam. Seth injured Finn Balor at SummerSlam. Can those two coexist? Or will Finn Balor turn his back on Rollins? Because remember, he's also Triple H's boy. But you see, in that, Finn and Seth, they have common ground. They both lost championships due to being sidelined with an injury. They're both disgusted at the way Triple H rules the main roster with an iron fist. So yeah, will Finn stay allied to Seth? Or, does he see more opportunity turning his back on Rollins and allying with the King of Kings, the demon king of kings, king? There's a lot of potential for drama. There's a lot of history in this match. Samoa Joe and Finn Balor especially have a huge history. Also, it protects Seth Rollins, who's recently just come off a knee injury. So yeah, I really think it works. Winners of the match to set up, the new top baby faces in town, Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. I do want to be in the room when it's pitched to Triple H that he has to lose in a tag match. I want to be there for that. Also, I'm sorry. I hope he doesn't watch this. Anyway, up next, Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. Yep, f*** you. I think this match should happen. And I think Roman should win. On the strict condition that he turns heel to do it. So at Fastlane, I think Roman Reigns should lose to Braun Strowman via gong, and then furious, he goes after Taker. Undertaker is basically the gatekeeper to the greatest possible heel turns. He could turn Cena heel, he could turn Reigns heel. The thing is, everyone wants it so much that in front of a hardcore, smarky crowd, a Reigns heel turn might get cheered. That won't happen if he cheats to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, because still, taking a WrestleMania win away from Undertaker, that is a piss-off, f*** you, die in a fire move. So the two men wrestle to see who has the blackest hair and who is the very best dog in the entire company. Reigns hits him with spear after spear after spear, at least 3, and he can't do it. So with the referee down due to a bump, he takes a chair and properly Austin rocks him, just hitting him again and again and again and again and again with his eyes going mental. He's got really good mental face. He does. So yeah, Roman cheats to beat Undertaker. It will be one of the great moments if it happens. Sure, he's not beating the streak. Oh my God, imagine. It will generate the most heat on the entire show, but Reigns forcibly takes The Undertaker's yard from him. Right, so here's a match I can expect backlash from. The triple threat for the WWE title. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. I know loads of people want it to be Luke Harper, and I think Luke Harper is being really elevated in this program. He's going after Bray Wyatt. He won the Battle Royal on SmackDown. They didn't hit at the same time. He won. But I just don't think he's quite there yet. Problem is, I think if he goes into the match as a triple threat, no one thinks that Luke Harper is going to be the next WWE champion. I think he basically goes in as a dead candidate. to be pinned, and I think he's sort of worth more than that. I think the belt is worth more than that. I think it's at Mania, it should be a triple threat between people who can actually viably win, if possible. And I think the best candidates for that are Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, and AJ Styles. AJ Styles versus Shane, I just don't see it. Shane is great. I think people are desperate to cheer for AJ. Shane's not going to turn heel because another heel McMahon, no. And I think forcing AJ to just be heel, I don't think it works. And yeah, after the match with Taker was basically a spot in a long half-hour match. I'm not sure there's that much rub left from Shane to give AJ. I mean, what do you want? Like a match where AJ's treated as valuably as he is, which he could lose, or a match where he's definitely going to win, but doesn't do that much for him in the long run, I think. So I would have Luke Harper look amazing against AJ Styles, but him win, and then it's basically Styles versus Wyatt. Styles, immediately after winning, gets beaten up by Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Luke Harper comes to his aid, so Luke Harper helps AJ turn face. So then we have basically Southern warfare, a war between good old Southern boys with farmers' strength. So in the match, it looks like that AJ Styles might have Bray Wyatt's number, so Randy Orton cashes in his Royal Rumble win and inserts himself forcibly into the match to act as Bray's protector. Although in the last few episodes of SmackDown leading up to it, you see that maybe he wants that belt. Like maybe someone can rake his eyes and he turns into, and without knowing who he's doing it to, he RKOs Bray Wyatt. So it's got intrigue. You don't know if AJ's going to win his title back. You don't know if Randy Orton's going to turn on Bray. Is Bray going to turn on Randy? So we get to the match itself. It starts off as a handicap match. So then we get Bray and Orton double teaming Styles. By the way, at some point, we have to see the phenomenal forearm into an RKO. We have to see that. But then out comes Luke Harper to help even up the odds. He accidentally hits AJ Styles with a super kick, who then falls out of the ring. Randy then hits Luke with an RKO, and then Bray grabs Randy, hits him with Sister Abigail, and bang. 1, 2, 3. Bray Wyatt retains. Then out comes Eric Rowan to join Luke Harper, and together it looks like they're about to double team Bray, but then they beat the crap out of Randy Orton. So finally, in its original form, the Wyatt family is back together, Rowan, Harper, and at the head, with the WWE Championship, Bray Wyatt. This then sets up Rowan and Harper versus Randy and AJ. It sets up Randy versus Bray. It sets up AJ versus Bray further down the line. And honestly, as much as I love Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, I feel like as a heel tag team, that is what they should be. Like those guys at some point, maybe at SummerSlam, could beat American Alpha for the belt and just hold them for half a year. Like as a team, they are phenomenal. And people need to remember that Eric Rowan is good. Finally, it's main event time. It's Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. Universal title versus Jericho's career. This should absolutely be the main event. It's been building since SummerSlam, and right now it is the hottest angle on either Raw or SmackDown. No joke, the Festival of Friendship segment is one of the best wrestling segments of all time, and definitely of the past few years. It was so funny, and then it was genuinely so shocking. Like people are grieving about the breakup. Owens is finally the unhinged, cold, bastard wanker that he needed to be. He stopped being funny, now he's just a fucking dick, and you desperately want to see Chris Jericho return and kick his ass. So, Kevin Owens survives Goldberg. The next night on Raw, he is celebrating, and that's when Chris Jericho returns. He kicks Kevin Owens' ass. The Authority try to take apart Jericho at every turn. They force him into a US title defense against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe beats him. He focuses on the ribs that are still hurt from the powerbomb on the apron, really build that move up as a career ender. So from now until Mania, Jericho has busted ribs. The Authority try to fire Chris Jericho after such a long career, but Kevin says, no, you don't get to end his career. I want to do it. I will put my Universal title on the line, but I want your career. So that's the match. Chris Jericho gets the best entrance of his life at Mania. Proper, giant countdown. Get everyone chanting 10, 9, 8, and then break the walls down. And at this point, you have two choices. I will leave it up to you, but I know which one I want. You either have Chris Jericho overcome the odds and finally, after 15 years ago, he had the WrestleMania 18 main event, which fell flat. He finally gets that big WrestleMania main event success, that triumph. He overcomes the odds, he becomes world champion, and he lives to fight another day. Or, and this is the one I want, after a couple of pop-up power bombs, he goes for the code breaker that's thrown up into a pop-up power bomb, and Kevin Owens pins him. 1, 2, 3. Chris Jericho's career is over. Owens walks away as the most despicable arsehole of the last few years, who has taken something that is truly precious, Jericho's decades-long career. Jericho stands, addresses the crowd, and thanks them. Everyone chants thank you as the cameras fade to black. Now I know that doesn't send the fans home happy, but do you need to do that every single Mania, or do you want to do something that creates a long-term despicable fuck in the form of Kevin Owens and sends Jericho off at the end of probably the best run of his career, or certainly of the last 10 years. Anyway, your call on that one. That is how I would book WrestleMania 33. Do you disagree? If so, tell me about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I will see you soon.